So Thursday morning, we start off with some showers well towards the north, some of those heavier downpours. Then this slides and fluctuates southward by Thursday at 5 p.m.
We are still seeing plenty of snow that is still steadily falling. I'll try to zoom around so you can see exactly what we are tracking.
By 7 a.m., low pressure right over our area. Boston could see some heavier downpours, but likely going to be dealing with another round of some showers and thunderstorms. The last time around, we got 11.2 inches of snowfall here in Andover, Mass. And it was that heavy, wet, dense, pasty snow that stuck to everything, but also brought down trees, especially like this one right behind me. But as we head closer to the Cape and the islands, we're going to be seeing at least 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts associated with this next nor'easter. We put together the hurricane relief drive so we can now show you where Hurricane Harvey is at this point, now a tropical storm, and it's now moving its way and just made its third landfall. Can you believe this? Third landfall. And we can already see it right now. We have to put our eclipse glasses on just to be safe. And it's really, really cool. If you haven't. Caitlin, here's a look at that Super Bowl forecast. If you're heading out to Minneapolis, we did have that send-off rally earlier this morning for the Patriots. And look what they're heading into, both Saturday and Sunday, into the teens in Minneapolis, and also right near 10 degrees on Super Bowl Sunday. Thankfully, the game is played indoors in a nice toasty stadium. Otherwise, you need to make sure to wear those layers if you are heading out to Minneapolis over the next couple of days. Temperatures, though, right now across the region, not too bad. Much more winter-like out there. 37 degrees currently in Framingham, 38 degrees in Attleboro. And as we get closer to the coastline, slightly warmer. We're currently 40 degrees in Scituate and right around 38 degrees right now in downtown Boston. And speaking of Boston, here's a view right now. Overcast skies, a gloomy start to our work week. And here's a look at the next few hours. Clouds do stick around through at least 3 p.m. Temperatures, though, dropping right around the freezing mark by 6 p.m. under some mostly cloudy skies. Flurries start to kick on in, say around 9 p.m. this evening. By midnight, the wind really starts to pick up, as well as those snow showers. So let's time it out for you guys at home with our exclusive in-house model showing us the change over to snow right around 7 p.m. right around the Cape Cod Canal just south of downtown Plymouth. Boston, though, still remaining mostly dry by that point, so will not affect that evening commute around the Boston region. But by 10 p.m., still just down towards the south of downtown Boston, right around Brockton, finally getting in on some of that snow action there. And then by 12:15, just after midnight, that's when we start to see those snow showers really picking on up, even out towards Worcester, Framingham, Boston, all under some of those snow showers, which is why we do have a winter weather advisory, but that's mainly for, say, the Cape Cod Canal, for the Cape and the Islands, and for south and easternmost parts of Massachusetts. Also, coastal flood advisory. That is for tomorrow morning's particular high tide, and also with those winds out of the north-northeast, and also the full moon coming up through the middle of the work week. So we have those higher tides as opposed to, say, the lower tides. So minor flooding is possible right along the Cape, and also for those north and eastward facing beaches over the course of the next 24 hours. So snowfall range, everyone wants to know at least 2 to 4 inches of snowfall is expected right around the Cape Cod Canal. Otherwise, as we head farther westward around the Boston area, at least an inch is expected. A dusting out towards Worcester. And a wider look at the projected weather map, we have that wraparound with that system just off the coastline, so the snow showers moving their way in. And as I advance this, you will notice those snow showers really starting to pick on up and then eventually sliding their way out as early as Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday looking nice, plenty of sunshine, but much colder. Those winds do shift out of the north and west. Now we'll usher in some colder air just in time for the middle of the work week, but at least it will be sunny out there by Wednesday. But here's a look at the rest of that 10-day forecast. Another system slides its way in just in time for Friday for Groundhog Day. Highs mid-upper 30s, which means we see the possibility of a wintry mix out there. Here's a look at what we're tracking here in the Weather Center. Speaking of northern Vermont, we do see the possibility of a disturbance moving its way through later on this afternoon and evening, which means some light snow. Otherwise, flurries at the Cape, associated with ocean effect snow showers out there. A slight warm up, though, by the middle of the week, as I had mentioned before. Strong coastal storm, though, on Thursday. So with that warm up, we're tracking that storm moving its way up the coast. So we won't quite feel all the warmth, but we will notice the gusty winds and then turning record cold, possibly to start off the first full weekend of 2018. Satellite and radar, though, right now relatively quiet in terms of, say, any cloud cover. Most of the clouds out over the ocean, and that's where we're starting off with some ocean effect snow showers out there towards the outer Cape. Not as widespread as we did deal with, say, yesterday morning, but here's that disturbance just off towards the north and west, about to cross over the borderline there between Canada and upstate New York. That'll continue to slide its way into far northwesternmost parts of Vermont over the course of the day today. So here's a look, timing that out for you guys at home. Say around 4 or 5 p.m. moves into into far northernmost parts of Vermont, including Burlington, even St. Jay, and eventually over towards northernmost parts of New Hampshire. But it does look like it fades away, I say later on by 9 p.m. this evening. So let's talk about the forecast for the day today. We're going to be seeing those highs back into the mid-upper teens. That'll feel balmy compared to what we've been dealing with over the past couple of days as well. Tonight, we only see those temperatures drop on off back into the lower teens, otherwise right around 10 degrees for most locations. Those winds will be shifting to the south and west, and that will usher in the warmth just in time for Wednesday. So how much warmer? We could reach 30 degrees in downtown Boston, 26 degrees in Worcester, and as we head northward, some of us could even reach into the 20s for most locations. And here's that system developing just off the coastline, well down towards our south, say over just off the coastline of Georgia and South and North Carolina. And then it really develops off the coastline as we look ahead towards Thursday at 7 a.m. So still remaining off the coast, we're just going to be dealing with some snow and even that wintry mix, that borderline right there, and then just rain out towards the Cape and the islands. But that could shift over as we look ahead towards Thursday at 5 p.m. We're tracking plowable snow, also very gusty winds and high waves for any of those mariners out there. And then that system slides its way to the Canadian Maritimes. We're just going to be dealing with some lingering snow as we look ahead towards Friday. But how much snow can we expect with this particular system? Well, here's a look at how much we can expect. Looks like we could see a possibility of blizzard-like conditions out in areas shaded in red on your screen. So that does include, say, the westernmost parts of the Cape. Over half a foot is likely in any of those areas shaded in purple on your screen. So it's right along the coast. Does include downtown Boston, also includes all of Rhode Island. And then as we head westward, plowable snow is possible. So get ready for that as we look ahead towards Thursday into Friday as that system evolves and develops just off the coastline. So now let's take a look at the rest of that 10-day forecast. After that system moves its way out of here, we are in the cold sector. And look at this, 15 degrees by Friday, 6 degrees on Saturday, turning quite frigid for the first half of that first full weekend of 2018. Back into the teens, though, by Sunday, and we're finally above the freezing mark just in time to start off that next work week.
Boston right now.
Absolutely gorgeous out there. Plenty of sunshine. Certainly need the sunglasses, but I did actually need a little light sweater earlier this morning.
Me too.
Okay, it was a little chilly out there for my liking, even though I'm now wearing sleeveless in the studio. But Boston right now, gorgeous, like I mentioned before, 72 degrees. It's going to feel fall-like as we look ahead towards Saturday and Sunday, and still remaining relatively quiet out there. New England waters for the day today, though. We do have that small craft advisory in all those areas shaded in green on your screen, and those seas between 3 to even 5 feet. But I'm also talking about the seas today as well, because already seeing swells associated with Hurricane Irma down towards the Jersey seacoast there as well. Satellite and radar, though, over our area, relatively quiet. Just a couple more clouds strolling into westernmost parts of Massachusetts as we speak. Otherwise, around the Boston area and even down towards the Cape and the islands, just a few clouds here and there. Looks like the most cloud cover, though, definitely with Hurricane Irma as we speak. As I mentioned before, it's at least 400 miles south and eastward of, say, Miami, Florida as we speak. Here's a look at Irma right now, though. Already a Category 4 hurricane, just now weakened just a little bit. 150 miles per hour sustained winds, 185 mile per hour wind gust. And here's a look at the latest track, wobbling a little bit westward with the latest track from the National Hurricane Center, and likely going to be a Category 4 storm as it makes landfall towards the Key West and also the southern tip of Florida. We're also going to be tracking the wide range of winds associated with Hurricane Irma. So as she makes landfall, likely going to be seeing those hurricane force winds all across the state there. And also, here's a look at those winds, as I mentioned before, just so you can see this at home. Those winds really picking on up. So before she makes landfall, they're going to start to see some tropical storm force winds for Miami as early as Saturday afternoon. That continues to slide its way northward, already seeing hurricane watches in effect for, say, the northern parts of, say, the eastern coastline of Florida. And that will continue to slide its way northward, and those winds and storm surge, definitely the biggest impacts with Hurricane Irma as she does make landfall this weekend. Now back here at home, we're just going to be dealing with some isolated showers here and there for our Saturday. Not a washout by any means, but as I mentioned before, the reason why Hurricane Irma is still remaining well down towards our south, we have high pressure that slides into our areas. Look ahead towards the weekend. That's giving us, guess what, those winds out of the north and west, so slightly cooler this weekend as we look ahead for our weather. But back down there towards the south, Irma still continues to slide her way northward into Georgia and parts of South Carolina. Then we finally see some of the remnants of Irma as we look ahead towards the middle of the next work week. Also the tropics still tracking Jose well out there in the mid-Atlantic. Already also a Category 4 storm as we speak, likely going to be clipping the Leeward Islands this weekend and then continuing its way out to sea as we look ahead towards, say, Monday and Tuesday. Today's forecast back here at home, though, temperatures nice across the region, relatively quiet as well, temperatures into the 70s. Tonight, though, temperatures do slip back into the 50s under some mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, can't rule out that chance for a spot shower or two well out towards the north and west. Otherwise, around Boston, mid to upper 60s. Otherwise, right near 70 degrees, especially towards Taunton. Here's a look ahead towards the rest of that 10-day forecast. Not too bad. Highs topping out upper 60s as we look ahead towards the weekend, and finally slipping back into the 70s Monday and Tuesday. And can't rule out that chance for the remnants of Irma to finally make its way into our area as we look ahead towards the middle of that next work week.